Good morning, welcome to CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Wednesday, June 14th, 2017. If you want to follow us on Twitter, please go to CATEX TV. In an apocalyptic type scene earlier this morning in London at about 11 or 12 o'clock at night, a 24-story apartment building in North Kensington literally erupted in flames. The flames began to emerge on the top floors of the building, and as the night proceeded, the entire 24 stories were completely consumed with flames. At least 6 people have died. The fire department is declining to say how many people are missing, but they indicate that they do expect more fatalities. It's understood that at least several hundred people would have been in the apartment building when the fire broke out shortly after midnight, with most of them sleeping. The death toll here could, in fact, become quite substantial. It was a horrific scene. Prime Minister Theresa May indicated she's deeply saddened by the tragic loss of life. The Norwegian insurer Protector Forsikring has confirmed it is the insurer of the 24-story block of flats in West London, the Grenfell Towers. They convey their sympathies to those who were killed and injured. The cost of the fire will mainly be picked up by the Norwegian insurer's reinsurance program, and the impact on earnings is expected to be negligible. Sources indicate that JLT Re was the broker that placed the reinsurance program. The premium paid by Kensington Royal Borough to the Norwegian company apparently is £434,000 a year for the fire insurance. In Northern Virginia and Alexandria, in the Washington, D.C. suburbs, earlier this morning, apparently at about 7:45 a.m., there was a Republican congressional baseball practice going on. Why congressmen are out at 7:45 a.m. on a baseball diamond in what's certain to be 90-degree heat is beyond me, but nevertheless, the shooting occurred. The House Majority Whip Steve Scalise, a Republican from Louisiana, was wounded and is in stable condition now. Other injured parties included 2 Capitol Hill police officers who were present at the scene, apparently because there were a large number of congressmen there. The situation is still unfolding. There were apparently as many as 50 or 60 shots that occurred during the softball practice. The head of the Chinese insurance and financial giant Anbang is reported now to have been detained by authorities. The company, one of the country's richest and most powerful, said that the chairman, Wu Zhou, is stepping aside from his role. He gave few details, but said that he will no longer be able to fulfill his duties for personal reasons. An unofficial source told the BBC that Mr. Wu had been taken away from the Anbang office building on June 8th by police who arrived in 2 cars. It's not clear where he is now, but he is in prison. If Wu's detention is confirmed by the authorities, he would be the highest profile target of the government's attempt to reestablish state control of the financial industry and target corruption. Anbang has been very active in insurance acquisitions and elsewhere. It also purchased the Waldorf Astoria Hotel in New York in 2015 for about $2 billion. He had recently been leading talks with Donald Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, who were reportedly working together to negotiate a deal to develop one of Kushner's Manhattan buildings. That deal fell apart. A very strong earthquake of a magnitude 6.9 on the Richter scale struck western Guatemala near the border with Mexico, causing only moderate damage. It occurred about 1:29 a.m. local time this morning. It was near the Mexican border. It was felt throughout the country of Guatemala and also shaking as well in southern Mexico. There was no tsunami warning. David Bonderman, a billionaire, who is the partner at a private equity firm called TPG, which is a significant investor in the ride-sharing company Uber, made a couple of comments at a forum being held yesterday out in California about women in the workplace. He ended up having to resign from the board after his comments. He was joining the personality Arianna Huffington, another board member. He was talking about how one woman on a board often leads to more women joining a board. Bonderman then went on to say, quote, "Actually, what it shows is that it's much more likely to be more talking." Attendees were aghast at the exchange. Uber, of course, has been trying to overcome a series of scandals over corporate misbehavior, including sexual harassment claims. The company released a 13-page document yesterday outlining a recommendation it planned to adopt to bring more accountability to executives at Uber for their actions. Meanwhile, a board member is saying what Bonderman said. The chief executive of Uber, Travis Kalanick, took a leave of absence from the company earlier this week. And French President Emmanuel Macron may have thrown Theresa May a lifeline. In a meeting yesterday at the Élysée Palace with May, he said that the door remains open for Britain to change its mind about Brexit. And the door will remain open all the way up until the formal departure from the EU in 2019. Speaking alongside May, Macron said he respected the will of the British people, but it was not too late for the UK to stay. He said, of course the door remains open, always open until talks come to an end. It's not for me to say whether or not this decision should be questioned, but until negotiations end, there is always a chance to open the door. His comments were echoed earlier in the day by the German finance minister, Wolfgang Schäuble, who said the British government has said that they will stay with Brexit. We take the decision as a matter of respect, but if they wanted to change their decision, of course, they would find open doors. European leaders are interpreting May's election loss as a possible opportunity for the government in Westminster to come to the negotiating table with more of an inkling to remain in the European community. Ms. May, of course, insisted that there was unity of purpose, and she's proceeding ahead with her Brexit plan as scheduled, meeting with the European negotiators next week. She may still not have received the message of the election of last week. We'll see what happens. That's the news for today. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.